1. The meeting has been called to order. Can we have a word of prayer, please? And when we go to our Savior in prayer, please pray for this nation, this country, this city, this state, that everything is done decently and in order. A word of silent prayer, please. Amen. Item number 2, Ms. Taylor.
Council roll call. Councilor Alexander.
Present.
Councilor Collier. Councilor Collier. Councilor Crusoe.
Present.
Councilor Marshall.
Present.
Councilor Thickpen. Councilor Thickpen. Councilor Matthews.
Present.
Councilor Donald.
Present.
You have 5 present, 2 absent. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Item number 4, please.
Approval of minutes from November 10th, 2020.
Counselor, you've looked at your minutes. Are there any corrections and or additions? If not, I need a motion and a second, please.
Madam Chair, I move to adopt the minute.
Second.
It has been properly moved and seconded that we will adopt the minutes from November the 10th, 2020. Roll call, Ms. Taylor.
Councilor Alexander.
Aye.
Councilor Crusoe.
Aye.
Councilor Marshall.
Aye.
Councilor Matthews.
Aye.
Councilor Donald.
Aye.
We have 5 ayes, no nays. The motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 5, please.
Madam President, will you announce my arrival?
Oh,
And mine also.
oh.
Thank you so much.
May I announce?
And mine also.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead and announce the arrival.
Okay. Councilor Collier and Councilor Thickpen arrived at the council meeting at 10:03 a.m.
Thank you. Item number 5, please.
Committee reports.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
can I just talk about the committee report in the line item for Amy?
Yes, ma'am, you can. You can do that in item number 7. Are there any
Thank
more
you.
committee reports? This is not a committee report, but the landlord committee will be meeting Thursday, December the 3rd at 2:00 via Zoom. That's Thursday, December the 3rd via Zoom. Item number 6, please.
Presentations, awards, announcements, and recognitions.
Mayor Gully, are you on the line? Councilors, do you have any presentations, awards, announcements, and or recognitions?
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to offer some recognition for different entities and individuals who contributed to such a wonderful thing here in District 7 as well as in the city of Bessemer. First and foremost, I want to thank and praise God for being in place to to make these connections to be a blessing to the city of Bessemer. The Dothan Masonic Lodge number 112, Commissioner Sheila Tyson and staff, Zeus Entertainment, you, President Cynthia Donald. Let's see, also the staff at the Bessemer Housing Authority. with all Pastor Kidd and Visionary Ministries here over in District 7, with the collaboration of everyone's efforts, we were able to provide Thanksgiving meals to over 500 individuals here in the city of Bessemer. It wasn't just for District 7; it was for anyone who showed up with a need or with a desire. And I'm just grateful for those individuals who took time away from their busy schedules, made the necessary sacrifices to just not even being at the dinner table with their own families for Thanksgiving, to make sure that we met the needs of the citizens here in the city of Bessemer, even in the middle of a pandemic. Those sacrifices are greatly appreciated, and I'm forever indebted to their sacrifices and their commitment to District 7 and the citizens here in the city of Bessemer. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilor Crusoe. We must take our hats off to the Dothan Lodge number 112. Not only did they serve hot meals there in the high rise, but they served our sick and shed-in throughout the city from Dunbar. They stayed there from 11 until, if I'm not mistaken, it was almost 3:45 when they left. We must tilt our hats as well to Miss Rhonda Fluker, who served the homeless community here in the city of Bessemer. We so often say that there's not any homelessness in the city of Bessemer, but since I've been on the council, I beg to differ. We have homelessness here in the city of Bessemer, and if you had seen it on Thursday, how they came out and Miss Fluker fed them. She didn't just feed them anything, you all. Miss Fluker cooked just like I cooked at home. Homemade pound cake, homemade potato pies, and turkey and ham and dressing. And I just thank God for the citizens here in the city of Bessemer. I often tell people everywhere I go, I love Bessemer because Bessemer is the place to be.
That's right.
Is Mayor Gully on the line? Item number 7, please.
Status on Amit.
Councilors, I placed this on. There was a meeting, and I will let Councilor Alexander.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
the council body, we did have a committee meeting, the AMIC committee, and we're bringing back to this body the recommendation to put out an RFP for a agent of record. Also, is Attorney Payton on the line?
Yes, ma'am.
Attorney Payton, I know you said there was agreement that was signed back this past January. I guess with AMIC, because you said it wasn't with the city of Bessemer, and Ms. Hope. Is it any way that the council can get that record?
That's not what I said. What I said was that the city entered into an agreement with AMIC for a 3-year policy term. So you got a 5% policy reduction in your premium for agreeing to a 3-year term with AMIC. That's what I said.
Okay, and does that have is the agent of record even listed in any of that paperwork?
I don't know that. All I can tell you is the policy on the front page of the policy, the deck page, I believe it says that it's for a 3-year term. That was January of 19. It was the first January of that term, is my understanding.
So 2021, the term will be up. That's 3 years.
So you would go January 8th of 19 to January 8th of 20 is 1 year. January 8th of 20 to January 8th of 21 is the second year. And the third year would be January 8th of 21 to January 8th of 26. the agent of
Oh.
record that brought that premium to you would have been health insurance agent.
Okay, but she never came before us to bring anything to us about a premium. But is it in,
Yes, they would have brought you the premium and you would have voted to accept the premium.
Madam President,
Yes, ma'am.
did we vote on the premium?
Counselor Alexander, let me research that, and I will get back to you with that, because right off, I can't say yay and or nay. But let me research that, and I'll get back with you with that, Counselor Alexander.
Thank you. I've given my committee report that is the recommendation of the committee to put out an RFP for agent of record for the city of Bessemer.
Madam
Thank
Chair.
you. Yes, ma'am.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir, Counselor. Yes, sir.
Ask a question. Did I understand, Attorney Payton, or did I understand you said that that an agreement was signed? Did the council vote on that agreement to be done? I don't recall it right off the top of my head.
Mr. Matthews, what my understanding is that the AMIC insurance policy renewed January of 19.
Uh-huh.
It was for a 3-year term. And by doing a 3-year term, you got a 5% reduction in premium. Now, I don't know whether you signed a quote new agreement or not. I know you would have paid the premium would have paid, and the council would have authorized the payment of the premium for the AMIC policy. I mean,
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm asking.
I know, but I didn't say, I have not said that there was a signed quote agreement. I can just tell you what I think my understanding is of that.
Well, I just think, that's just my thoughts, that we've been dancing around AMIC for, I can't even say how long, but whenever there's it's like some rabbits jump out of the hole every 2 or 3 months about AMIC and what's been done or what. But when it comes down to us physically seeing documents, we're not seeing them for the most part. And the transparency of AMIC's inner workings is very foggy to me. Nobody else. But it's just.
Mr. Matthews, this is Shane again. I gave the council every document that the city had regarding the AMIC policy months ago. There is no other documents to my knowledge out there.
But I'm talking about the one you just made mention about. This is the first time when you made mention of it about about an agreement and what was done back in 2019. This is the first time we've heard about it. Well, first time I've heard about it.
No, and the deck page, it's my understanding, and I'll have to go back and look, that it is on the front page of the declaration page that talks about there being a 3-year term. Okay. Now, that is not the first time. I mentioned that last time that there was a meeting. So I'm not trying to hide anything. You have every document that I have, and you have had every document that I've had for some time.
Yeah, okay.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's, one of the individuals that I would have wanted to hear something from, given that Council, Pro Tem Matthews, being that he's kind of seasoned and been around the table for quite some time, it kind of behooves me and kind of heightens my interest and curiosity, given that he's been around the table for nearly, if not over 2 decades, and to sit and hear him say that, you know, this is something that's foreign to him, it kind of, you know, heightened my suspense and my curiosity concerning this. You know, we're waiting, as you said, that you were going to do more research as to answering the question that Councilor Alexander requests of you, and I'm waiting to see that myself. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilor Crusoe. It has been asked. Yes.
I'm sorry, this is Shan. Was Councilor Crusoe asking for me to provide more information, or I did not understand that there's
no, sir, I didn't
No,
no.
she wasn't asking that you provide the information. She was saying that she was waiting to see what comes from my research from the question that Councilor Alexander asked. And I told her that I would do more research on it, and I will after this meeting. And this week I will do more research. So I will be ready to tell you all, give you all an answer on Tuesday of next week. It has been recommended that a resolution be put together for an RFP agent of record to go out. And I am going to look for, because I think this question was asked of me once before about the declaration pages. And I have all pages of what Attorney Payton has turned in. I have all the pages. And I think I asked for a declaration page, and it wasn't in the box that was turned in. So I'm going to look through that carefully again today. And if there's not a declaration page, Attorney Payton, I will be sending an email to get a declaration page from you. But I will look in the box that we have there to make sure before I ask for another declaration page. Now, this 5%, yes, sir, you did make mention of it on last week, but as I stated on last week, that was my first time. Excuse me?
I'm sorry, I was asking Ellen to look for something.
Oh, okay.
I've got some more information on it if you'd like.
Okay, well, go ahead with your other information. I'm sorry.
All right, so we turned the documents over to Angela on August the 17th. There is an emails scheduled in there, January 3rd, 2019, and I'll look for the deck page, but this is an email. This is from Joni Holt to Michelle Warhurst at AMIC. And on that date, it says, please renew the above policy effective January 8th per your revised quote of $650,009. We would like a 3-year policy. Let me know if you need anything else. They had previously quoted a 1-year premium of $670,037. So that was also on January the 3rd of 2019. Michelle Warhurst wrote Joni. Joni attached this renewal quote on the above insured. The 1-year premium is $670,000, or the first year of a 3-year premium is $657,150. So that information is in the, I know is in the materials you received, and I will look on the deck page also to see what other information. And if y'all would too, we'll look and see what there is about a 3-year term.
Right. I like I said, it's been a while since I looked at it, but I will look through it again to make sure that there was something that we did not overlook. And if those documents are in the box, we will bring those documents out and bring them back to the table on on next Tuesday, and we'll have a resolution ready to vote on the last meeting of this year. Is that all right with this body?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Item number 8, please.
Madam
Did I hear
President,
some-
Madam
did I hear
President,
some- Yes,
Ma-
sir, Councilor Marshall.
that was not the body, that was only Councilor Alexander that made that statement.
It was Councilor Crusoe
Okay.
too.
Well, you didn't speak up at the time
I
she
did.
asked.
I did.
Okay, let us just do it like this. Give me a motion and a second, and let us vote on this
Madam
item.
President,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to make a motion that we come before the council with the RFP in order to put out an RFP for an agent of record for the city of Bessemer, please.
Point of order, point of order,
Your point of
Point of
order has been recognized.
point of order. You cannot deny a point of order.
I said
Point
it
of
has
order.
been recognized. It has been recognized.
Okay,
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
this is inappropriate. You can't make a statement about a resolution and want to vote on it today. We don't have anything in front of us, no documentation, no discussion of how an RFP would be put together in a scenario like this. So this is strictly out of order. Now we can come next week at our planning session and talk more about, an RFP and what might be contained in an RFP. But to say you're gonna vote now for an RFP, that's strictly out of order.
Councilor Marshall, if you heard what I said, I don't think you heard what I said.
Okay,
If
tell me,
you had
what
been
did you say?
If you had been listening, Councilor Marshall, the motion was to bring the RFP, a resolution to bring the RFP back to the table. And then we'll vote on the RFP, the last meeting of the year.
You still got to discuss the RFP.
Aren't you going to discuss it Tuesday?
Well, you didn't make it sound like it. Councilor Crusoe was trying to make a resolution now for us to vote on.
The resolution I think Councilor Crusoe was making was to bring it back to the table to discuss, and we take a vote on it on the last meeting of the year.
You don't have to speak for her. That is not what she said.
Well, that's what you've been doing, so why not?
I speak for myself.
And well, just a minute ago, you were trying to put words in my mouth as well. But
No, I speak for myself.
nevertheless, if we have to wait until planning session, we can do it whichever way you choose, Council Marshall.
Councilor, thank you so much, Councilor Crusoe. Councilor Marshall, it will be on the work session on next week, as I stated, and we will have a resolution to vote on it on the last meeting of the year. Thank you all so much for your discussion. Yes, ma'am.
Madam President, you just can't make that statement.
I have
because
the floor, Mr.
One moment.
Go right ahead.
Councilor Thigpen.
Yes, sir. Did I understand Attorney Payton to say that this policy is in effect until January of 2022?
Yes, ma'am. I did hear him say that it was in effect until January 2022. That is what he said. And if you can remember on last week, he did say that. And I did tell him we weren't looking for it to be right now, but in order for us to do it and put it out and get it back in time enough. It hasn't been proven. Nothing has been proven just yet as to a contract or anything at this point in time, if you all would allow me to research, as I said, and I told to Counselor Alexander, if you all will allow me to go back through the paperwork and research and bring everything back to you all on Tuesday at the work session, and we'll discuss it on Tuesday at the work session, if you all will allow me to do that.
Councilor Dahl, this is Shan.
Yes,
While
sir.
discussion was going on, I was searching through the box of documents that I provided you guys on August, and the 2019 deck page or policy is in that box of documents.
Okay.
On the
Okay.
first page, on about the 5th line, it says policy period, effective date, January 8th, 2019, expiration date, January 8th, 2022.
Thank you. I'll go through that box, and I will not, that I do not trust you, because I can't see it right now. And as I stated earlier to Counselor Alexander, I'll look through that box, and I'll have the box there on the table, and I'll bring everything back to you all at work session, if that's okay with this body.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
Notwithstanding everything that's been said, there's still several different opinions out there about who has the authority or to appoint the agent for AMIC. That haven't been resolved yet, and I think in short order we need to that needs to be addressed in its entirety. I mean, by regardless of how it's obtained, we need to bring closure to that.
You're absolutely right, Councilor Matthews, and it may not get settled in this setting. We may have to go to a third party in order to get this settled, because as I see it, Attorney Harris, are you on the line?
I am, Counselor. I am.
Thank you, sir. Attorney Harris, would you like to chime in on this conversation, please, on your thoughts?
Sure. We have, this has come before the body before, and we've had some brief discussion upon it. I think there may be a disagreement or a diversion of thought between myself and the city attorney, but it appears to me, from my reading of it all, that the agent is within the purview of the city council to appoint. I think that he may disagree with that.
Well, what I'm saying, it needs to be gotten off dead center on who has that, and by whichever way it needs to be resolved, we need to go ahead and take care of that. Because I mean, this is a little like Sally going around the sunshine.
Yes.
It appears that it is, and as I stated, we may even have to get a third party involved in order to settle this, who has the authority to appoint. Now, because the mayor has been doing it for so many years, that does not make it the right way to go. As of next week, if you all will allow me, as I stated once before, if you all will allow me to do just a tad bit research, I'll bring everything I have to you on Tuesday, and we'll set it out on the table. And if we have to have a third party, we'll talk about that too on Tuesday of next week, if you all will allow me.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I'll have everything we need, including the box with everything in it, and the questions and the answers for you, Counselor Alexander. And I will have a statement for you Councilor Matthews, as I've already stated, where I think it's going. And I think that the council attorney is, we're thinking the same way. And we have gone to Alabama League of Municipalities, and we've been told several things there. But I think we're going to have to bring in a third party in order to settle this. And there's nothing wrong with bringing in a third party. And if you all allow me, next Tuesday, we'll talk about this, talk about AMIC, this third party, and who has the authority to appoint an agent. Item number 8, please.
Item 8, status on written CDBG quarterly report.
Thank you so much. Counselors, I placed this back on for quarterly report, and with this being said, we will follow up with a letter on today, because we did tell Mayor Gurley that we would request, and then we would expect the request several weeks after, and we want to stay within our boundaries and we'll keep our word as to what we've said. I will send a letter on today requesting not only the quarterly report, but a copy of the year-end report for CDBG. Someone needs to mute their phone. There was a conversation after our council meeting on last week. I didn't know so many people listened to us in all states, that there are things that we can see. There are things that we cannot see. We cannot see Social Security numbers. We cannot see birth dates. We cannot see names, but we can see who received our funds, what business received our funds. We can see the check that was drawn down on to the business that received the funds. There are a lot of things, counselors, that we cannot see, but there are a lot of things that we can see. We'll get a letter to the mayor requesting a year-end quarterly report, as well as a copy of the year-end report, if that's all right with this body.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 9, please.
Status on written TVA report.
I think Councilor Thigpen was the chair of that committee, and if I'm not mistaken, she said she gave it to the attorneys. Attorneys Payton, Attorney Harris, is there any update on the TVA?
Councilor Donald, are y'all talking about, when you say TVA report, the status of the, where we are with the application and the process of looking at a possibly new power provider? Is that?
Yes, sir. That's exactly what we're talking about.
Okay.
Do I need to go offline?
I think this is just, as long as you don't participate in the discussion, I think it will be okay. Greg, what do you think?
Attorney Harris? I tell you what,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it anyway. And Ms. Coleman, have Ms. Coleman to call me. I'm gonna do it anyway.
Okay, it'll be a very short report.
Say that again?
It'll be a very short report.
All right, just Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman. Is she near you?
We'll shoot you a text or something, Pro Tem.
Thank you.
All right.
So, Councilor Donald, are y'all ready?
We're ready.
All right. So, I think you recall last time we had our last meeting, I was receiving an email from Southern Company regarding this matter right during the meeting. So, since that time, what they had emailed me over was an application for integration transmission service application. So it's called a NITS application. We have to complete that application and then send that back to Southern Company for them to begin the system impact study. So I completed that. When I say I completed it, with the help of Mr. Yarborough, myself, and a couple of people at Alabama Power, or Southern Company, we completed that application yesterday. I sent that to the mayor yesterday afternoon. He is going to print that application today and sign it, and then send that back to Southern Company. The deposit amount, remember we talked about a deposit amount that had to be filed, and we don't have to file that just yet. I found that out late yesterday. But when we receive the agreement to sign for the system impact study, that's when we'll pay the deposit. The deposit amount will be $282,289.80, and the fee for the study is $10,000. So that's just where we are today.
What was that deposit amount again? 28, what'd you say?
Yes, ma'am. $282,289.80.
Okay, let me just a quick question. If you don't, Madam Chair, can I ask a question of Attorney Payton while we're on this topic, if you don't mind?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Attorney Payton, I recall when we discussed, this, previously in an executive session, given that I've received numerous calls concerning the outlandish utility bills that the several citizens here in the city of Bessemer, has received, with this transition, if it's brought to fruition, how will it affect the citizens of Bessemer as far as with their rates? With the rates that they have now, will they remain constant? Will it bring about some type reduction? I know you said it's such a significant significant savings to the city of Bessemer. I'm more concerned about the citizens. Because it seems to be two different entities when we speak in terms of the city of Bessemer and the citizens of Bessemer. What type of impact will it have on the citizens?
So I think it's too early to tell the impact on the citizens. But that being said, what you're trying to determine now is whether it is in your best interest to stay with a 5-year agreement with TVA, execute a 20-year service provider agreement with TVA, or search for another provider. So that's what we're trying to determine now.
Yeah,
I hear you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you were to decide, let's say the study will come back once the application is filed. Let's say it's April the 1st, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you decide at that time, you know what, we need to move forward with a different service provider, and here's the price. You still have to send a termination notice to TVA, and
Yes.
that notice, that agreement, that notice is for 5 years. So you're not looking at any reduction in the price of electricity for a 5-year period.
Next 5 years, okay.
Right. So immediate impact upon the citizens, I would say there's not going to be any. But over the long haul, over the next 10 years or 20 years, I would think that there's going to be significant savings. But again, that's saying everything stays the same today. And of course,
Yes.
nothing stays the same. So it's hard
Yes,
to
sir.
say. I'm not trying to be circular on here.
No. I understand, but we can end the circle right here. I guess with this question, it's not. I'm clear as far as on the whatever decision that is made. We still owe TVA 5 years. I was clear on that from day one. My thing is that making sure that we're clear in our decision making process. I don't want to commit the citizens of Bessemer to anything else blindly, because it's so unfair. it's so unfair. You know, I mean, I pay a utility bill with Bessemer Utilities. I worked for Bessemer Utilities for over a decade. I mean, you know that. And to have to sit and explain to the citizens of Bessemer some of the reasons that didn't make any sense to me, but it was given to me, and it was my job to convey this information to citizens who lived in 2-bedroom houses, whose utility bills exceeded my bill when I lived out in McCullough with over 3,000 square footage of a house. So my thing is that I don't want to go into anything blindly. I just want to do my due diligence on making sure that I make the necessary, do the necessary research and ask the necessary questions to make sure everything is on the table to do what we have to do, as far as in making sure that we safeguard, if not only just safeguard, but better the livelihood. And I'll just say this right here. As business office supervisor at Bessemer Utilities, I've gone in my pocket plenty of days to pay the utility bills of seniors and people who came in, standing there having to make the decision on being able to pay, being able to pay their light bill or get groceries for the rest of the month on fixed incomes, being able to pay their utility bills, or whether they were able to afford life sustaining medications that they needed. And that's a part of the picture that some of us may not probably haven't factored into this equation. But being that I was there and having to live it, it's hard. It grieves my spirit to see our citizens here in the city of Bessemer, along with myself, on some of the bills that I see. And the only justification that I was able to give them was, ma'am, you might want to get an electrician out there. You may have faulty wiring in your house. Even if it came down to exchanging a meter out there or having a meter study done, the city of Bessemer didn't even offset that cost. Now, it's just senseless to me to sit in a citizen's face who's already complaining about an astronomical utility bill, to still to have to bear another cost on having their meter even studied. And for the most part, when the meters came back, they still came back saying there was nothing wrong with their meters. But I'm here to tell you, it is something going on at Bessemer Utilities as to these rates, as to whether it's the meters, with the offset of this cost, or whatever savings that we make going into the next policy or next contract that we do for Bessemer Utilities. I hope that those savings are sufficient enough to upgrade these meters or to offset some of these costs and give the citizens of Bessemer some type of relief. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Crusoe. Ms. Taylor, will you call? Ms. Taylor, will you call Ms. Coleman and have her to call Councilor Matthews, and he can join the meeting?
Yes,
Madam President.
Yes, sir, Councilor Collier.
Just a statement that
Yes.
that renters committee that we're getting together, and I think it's going to be of value to the citizens of Bessemer. This faulty wiring, these conditions that the people stay in, able to rent houses under these conditions, that's going to help. And I think another thing we need to look into is the sewer charges. I think that's running up a lot of people's bills also. So I think we need to take that in consideration also when we talk about the high bills that's coming into the citizens.
Madam Chair. Oh, I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
Are you finished, Councilor Collier?
I am right now. Go ahead. I'll wait till they. Go ahead.
No, are you finished,
Just,
Councilor
can I just say something briefly?
One moment, one moment, Councilor Crusoe, one moment. Councilor Alexander.
No, I was just gonna tell Councilor Collier it's nothing we can do with the sewer rate because that was already voted on by the previous commission. That's why our sewer rate is so high.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's a part of your bill. A lot of people don't look at it.
Okay.
Yeah, it is high. It's expensive.
It's high. So if your toilet is running, you can get up to a $500 bill quick. I'm saying it for a person who's
I understand.
not inclined to fix a toilet, or just say a female who, or a male who doesn't recognize that their toilet is running.
That's right.
$500 easy. So sometimes it's not the power bill. I'm just making a statement. Sometimes it's just not the power bill alone.
That's right. Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am, Councilor Crusoe. Yes,
Councilor Collier, I completely concur with you. As far as with the sewer rates, I mean, it's so unfair. I mean, to the city of Bessemer as it relates to that. A lot of the citizens don't quite understand that we only serve as a collection site for the Jefferson County Sewer Department. That was, like an Easter speech around the clock for me when I worked there at Bessemer Utilities, trying to help the citizens to understand that, this was something that was just imposed upon us. And we get a lot of the backlash here in the city of Bessemer, just serving as a collection site for Jefferson County sewer. So I completely concur with you concerning that. And I also agree with you concerning the implementation of this renters ordinance to make these landlords be far more accountable in these properties. But we have landlords who are renting the properties that are dilapidated in a way or unkempt in a way that the costs kind of fall off into the laps of some of many of citizens. But on a broader scope, Councilor Collier, it's not just the landlords. We have citizens around here who own their homes. It's not about old wiring. It's not about a leak. I mean, because I had to give this speech plenty of times as far as it meant. I tell you what we'll do just to see whether you have
Councilor
your property. Let me just finish this one statement concerning the sewer, and I'll be done with the president. Telling them to go out and write down the numbers off of their sewer, and and don't use any water. Go back out and see if those numbers have moved. If they haven't moved, then there is no leak. Is no water going anywhere. But nevertheless, even with no water being utilized and the numbers on the meter not being moved, they still still received outlandish bills. So now where the error falls within that, we just got to take another step forward as far as in being much better stewards for the citizens of Bessemer as it relates to these utility bills. But I still concur with everything that you just said, Councilor Collier, and thank you for those comments.
Madam President.
I think I heard Councilor Thigpen first.
Thank you. I guess I need to check with Attorney Payton to make sure that I remember correctly, but if I'm not mistaken, with TVA, they control the rates that we are able to charge the consumers. If we go through Alabama Power and purchase the electricity, we will be allowed to pass on the savings to the consumers because we control the rates. Is that correct, Attorney Payton?
I think ultimately, Councilor Donald, the city council controls the rate, but it's subject to regulation under TVA. If you choose to go with another provider rather than TVA, you're correct, you would not have TVA's oversight.
Thank you. I thought that was it. I think that might help Councilor Crusoe to understand that if we go that route, we may be able to pass on some of that, the savings, or at least upgrade some of the service so that the rate, the usage is low. You know, we can't do anything about the water side of it, but the electricity side of it. I mean, for the years I have watched my bill go up, 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 and then when a new meter is installed for whatever reason, it drops remarkably. So yes, so maybe more of that can be done if we save the money. It'll be a long time before we're able to save it. I have seen that happen. So thank you, President.
Councilor Marshall.
I don't have anything, Council. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you all, councilors, for that discussion on our sewer, water, and electric. I can tell you, with having the majority of the housing communities in District 3, we're seeing now the sewer is 3 times what the water is, and it is supposed to go up one more time. So I guess we had better, if not think about, we had better get our boots on and let us see what it is that we can do to help the citizens here in the city of Bessemer. Item number, councilors, I did leave off one, which will be 9A. It's TVA written report spreadsheet that was supposed to have been submitted to the council. Is there a status on that, Mayor Gully or Mr. Yarborough?
Madam President,
Yes.
I am I'm still going over that. My plan
Yes,
is to have it. My plan is to have it in your planning session package.
Thank you, sir. That was 9A, TVA written spreadsheet. Item number 10, please.
Status on Facebook Live.
Mayor Gully and or Mr. Singleton, would you like to speak to that one?
Madam President, I will allow Mr. Singleton to speak to that. Now, yes, I sent you all a letter regarding and some of the status and some of that. And to my knowledge, when it comes to Facebook Live, nothing and stuff has changed from that letter that I sent to your office. But Mr. Singleton, if you're on the phone, I'll yield to you and let you and stuff explain that once again to the council.
Good morning, Council. And
Good morning, Mr. Singleton.
Council President. Good morning. Yes, ma'am. On November the 9th, I forwarded a letter that I submitted to the mayor on October the 14th, explaining a issue we had with the Facebook, with our Facebook page back in August of 2020, where we lost control of the Facebook page, or better yet, we got locked out of the Facebook page due to an upgrade security requirement by Facebook. We have yet to resolve this issue due to lack of contact with Facebook support. And during this process, Mr. Torrain and I have had several conversations, and we determined that we would suspend trying to recover the page due to the complexity or the lack of support from Facebook, and that we would look at building a new page and a new means of updating information throughout all of our social media platforms. And that's where we are at the moment. We have not began that new Facebook page rebuild. And therefore, we do not have access to Facebook currently.
Okay. Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Singleton.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, given what you just explained, expressed to us, until we make, I guess, get to the necessary place of being able to go live via Facebook? Is it any way possible? I mean, which I know it is because I'm doing it as we speak. For the convenience of the citizens here in the city of Bessemer or anyone else who wants to be privy to I guess the status of what we have going on here in the city of Bessemer, can our YouTube videos be uploaded up onto the Bessemer City web page? I have several citizens who have asked, wanting to know why is it they're having to go to YouTube to find out and to find city council meetings. If I'm sharing it on my Facebook page, can it also be shared to the city's web page off of YouTube as well, just to make this more convenient for the citizens of Bessemer, and also help with the Open Meeting Act?
Let me get an understanding. Are you asking, can it be rebroadcast from YouTube to the city's webpage?
Of course, and also with it being posted up on the city webpage, it also gives the citizens of Bessemer direct access to the business of the city versus having to scroll around into other websites to be privy to this information. But my question was to you. I don't want to answer your question for you. Is that possible?
I want to make sure I understand. Are you asking, can we stream it live from YouTube to the city website, or are you saying, can we upload it post the city's?
Both.
It can be done post. I would have to have that discussion with the web developer if we can do it live. That's a different application. Or better yet, that's a different plugin that I do not know if we have the capability to do without discussing that, without having a conversation with the developer.
Mr. Singleton, let me ask a question. When do we think we're going to have this conversation, and when do we think we're going to get this web page up and live to the citizens?
The Facebook Live? I'm correction, the Facebook page?
Yes, sir. And the city's, as of right now, if we go to YouTube and pull up last week's meeting,
yes, ma'am.
Is it possible for us to stream it live from or upload it to the city's web right now?
Yes, ma'am.
From what equipment we already have, that is possible.
Yes, ma'am. That is a file that was, so to speak, closed. We can create a space. We can create a space and upload files, documents up on our website on a space that was previously created. Yes, ma'am. The question.
So right now, what we need to be speaking with the mayor and this body about is, until this Facebook Live is up and going, and I don't see where it should take us. It should take us no more than 2 weeks to get it up and going. But until it's up and going, we should be speaking to the mayor, Mayor Gully, to see, is it all right with you that Mr. Singleton upload the council meeting directly after the council meetings on the website, so that our seniors and other citizens will get an opportunity to view it from the city's website?
Madam President.
Yes, sir.
I have no problem and so with that being done. Obviously, if it's already on YouTube right now, then after the meeting, it should be able to be uploaded and so to the city website. We were speaking in terms of real time and stuff meetings, and you know, and I cannot say, just like Mr. Singleton just informed you all, when Facebook will allow us to do certain things that we can present it live. But most definitely, if it's already on YouTube, it can be uploaded after the meeting. Any of those previous meetings that has been on YouTube, I would assume and stuff can be uploaded and stuff to the city website, you know, after the meeting and stuff is concluded.
Yes, sir. I was speaking. I think I had stated until we get real time up and available to the citizens. Is that possible? We can go ahead and do we need to do a resolution, Mayor Gully, or is that something that you will direct Mr. Singleton to do, to upload it from YouTube to the city's website, so that I know that we have senior citizens that sit around, they have meeting once a week, and it is hard for them to navigate because I had to go in and navigate for them. And if it's on the city website, they do sit there and they have their big screen TVs and they do look at different things on the city's website. But if that meeting is uploaded to the city's website, that will be great for them.
Okay.
Madam President, I have no problem with that. As long as Mr. Singleton and his staff got the capability and stuff to do it, then I have no issue with that.
Thank you, Mayor Gully. Mr. Singleton.
Madam Chair, I'm sorry.
Mr. Singleton, if you're still on the line, you did hear that. Yes, ma'am, Councilor Alexander.
Madam Chair, I mean, this is laughable and it's embarrassing at the same time because, for one, we're a whole city with 27,000 residents. I got a 13-year-old nephew and a 16-year-old nephew that get locked out their Facebook pages weekly, and they create Facebook pages. Why would it take 2 weeks to make a Facebook page? We need to move into the modern era like the other cities, and we need to stream live on Facebook. We need to upload things live on Facebook, just like the demolition of houses. Even if we go on Facebook and give a report on our districts. I mean, we need to move into the 20th century. Why are we so behind when it comes to things like this? We have citizens that want to be aware, that want to know what's going on. Why is it so hard for us to get up a Facebook page? And why is it that we've been locked out of Facebook page since August with all the stuff that's been going on in the city? Why? That's just my question.
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
unlike our children and so who can get locked out, that's a different criteria and stuff for a municipality or a business. Mr. Singleton, you may want to speak and stuff to that, but no one has any problem as long as we have the capability and stuff to do what is necessary to make everybody and stuff aware. You know, it may be laughable and stuff to some council members, but we take this very serious. Prior to our administration, we didn't even have an IT department. So yeah, that was laughable to me and stuff as well. But anything that we can do and stuff to get up and running, I assure you and stuff that this administration is doing what we need and stuff to do. Mr. Singleton, you may want to speak to the difference between and so a personal Facebook page and a municipality Facebook page.
Yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. One of the reasons this security was imposed upon us because we were a government page, and the amount of traffic that we had to our page. This was the explanation that was given to us that required us to implement this security that went awry. Secondly, what we had found, Mr. Torrain and I, through research from forums and blogs, is that in conjunction with our government page, there was also some concerns, or this security came from concerns surrounding the 2020 election, and several discussions with Mr. Torrain and I had several discussions anticipating that after the election that we would have some relief and address the issue at that time. Up until that point, it was very difficult to get any information, any support to repair our existing page, which had a lot of content that we were locked out of, and we was hoping to be able to recover that content so as not to start anew. However, we understood that we may have to go down that route. But in respect to a personal page and a government page, there's a big difference between a corporate-owned or a branded page and a personal page. I have a personal page as well, and it, I can do a lot of things, and I've had a lot of issues with it. However, on the branded page, it's a lot different. Requires a lot more attention, and it's unforgiving, and the same clicks or the same security that you have on your personal page, we do not have on our branded page. And we believe this is what caused the issue that led us down this road. But we are, as the mayor said, we are working towards resolving this issue in light of everything else that's going on. But thank you.
Okay,
Madam
so we
President.
have a.
Go ahead,
Madam Chair,
Councilor.
thank you. So, Mr. Singleton, we have a whole IT department, and it's no way no one can contact Facebook or anything to go ahead and speed this process up, because as Councilor Crusoe stated and Councilor Donald stated, we have citizens like that navigate Facebook that's 80 years old that has Facebook on their phone, and that's all they know how to navigate is Facebook. They don't know how to go to YouTube. They don't know how to Google and go to the city website, but they have the Facebook app on their phone. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, I mean, we have a whole IT department. Thank you, Mayor Gully, for that. But I mean, if y'all gonna sit around and just fix computers all day, I mean, what's the use of it? I mean, we have an IT department. We need to do what other cities are doing. We need to stream live, and we need to update the citizens day by day. That's all I'm saying.
Councilor Marshall.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Councilor Alexander said one word that just stood out. Shameful. And I want to take it a little bit further. We have spent over an hour talking about issues that we really should be addressing in planning meeting. You know, we need to be moving on with the legislative items that are on the agenda, but we spend over an hour, and it's shameful. Spend over an hour talking about issues that are designed to be in planning session. When we come together for this meeting, we ought to be doing legislative work. I'm going to say that some people are saying that there's so many citizens out there who like it, but there are also a lot of citizens out there that are embarrassed, that are simply embarrassed by these meetings because we waste too much time. And it is shameful, and that's my opinion. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Councilor Crusoe.
Thank you. I guess kind of responding to what Councilor Marshall just said. Okay, we've been in City Council in this meeting for an hour, and if you also notice, this falls on the old business. Many of these items have been discussed for months. Both City Council meeting, planning session, City Council meeting, planning session, and still no resolution. So until we get some resolution to the issues that we've been running around the park and chasing the same, hunting the same dog about, then we are going to continue to discuss it. Until we get resolution, it's not going to be removed. So, you know, I mean, rather than sitting around talking about how much time it takes as far as in discussing it, let's come together and get it resolved, whereby it won't be on the agenda to have to be discussed with hours and hours at a time. And I think that's what the citizens elected us for. I mean, we weren't asked as to how long we'll sit in city council meeting.
Madam Chair.
Councilor Marshall.
And this is my last statement, because I'm not gonna go back and forth.
Thank
Okay.
you.
I'm not gonna go back and forth. I mean, if nobody else sees that this is a waste of time, these same items could be handled in a planning session. And Madam Chair, I charge you with taking responsibility and control of the meeting to move the meeting along. These items could very easily be on planning session. That's where they ought to be, and we could give the just time to discuss the items. I'm finished. I'm embarrassed, but I'm a part of the body. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you, Councilor Marshall, for stating how you feel when you become the president and the agenda falls up under you. Then you can control what goes on in the meetings. Now, as far as
you're not controlling what's going on. You're not controlling what's going on.
As far as being embarrassed, I don't blame you. I would be too. I would be embarrassed. But I wouldn't be embarrassed because we're discussing the city's business. Thank you so much. Item number 11, please.
Item 11, granted extensions is attached.
Ms. Hall, are you on the line?
Good morning, I am.
Good morning, Ms. Hall. How are you?
Good morning, yourself. Thank you.
Good. You have the floor, Ms. Hall.
Okay. On yesterday, I believe there was an email sent out on a granted extensions on 2 properties. The first one is 1225. I'm sorry, it's 1225th Street South. The owner of the City Ice Company. That property has been cut by the owner. And the second property is also 1225th Street South with a different parcel number, which is also owned by City Ice Company. And that property has also been cut by the owner. So I'm requesting that those properties be abated.
Ms. Hall, when we say the properties have been cut, are we talking about half of the properties? Because the right side of the properties have not been cut in quite some time. And the last time that it was cut, the city cut it. Now, I see where they have cut the back and the left side of the property, but the right side of the property has not been cut.
Okay. So when you say the right side, so if we're facing the building,
if you're facing the building, that's the left side. If you turn around and face the dilapidated house that's right in front of the ice house, that right side as you go around and go to the tracks right there, that has not been cut. And the last time it was cut, the city of Bessemer cut it.
Okay, yes, ma'am, I am aware of those properties, but those are different property owners and different parcels.
Okay,
so this,
on the other side is different from number 25, from number 12, 25th Street. That's different?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay. Councilors, you heard Miss Hall. I need a motion in a second, please.
Just a question before we do the motion, Madam Chair. I mean, does everyone else have a list of this information? I didn't see a list of any properties in this packet. Was it emailed to us today?
It was emailed to you on yesterday.
Okay, I didn't see it, but I will find it. Not a problem. Maybe we can go forth with the motion. Thank you all. Thank you, Mrs. Hall.
Yes, ma'am, you're welcome.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
I move the item.
And
Second.
second,
It has been properly moved and second that we will abate the properties that's listed on your list. Roll call, Ms. Taylor.
Counselor Alexander,
Aye.
Counselor Collier,
Aye.
Counselor Crusoe,
aye.
Counselor Marshall,
Aye.
Counselor Thigpen,
Aye.
Counselor Matthews,
Aye.
Counselor Donald.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays, the motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 12, please.
Report of costs, list attached.
Counselors, Ms. Hall sent a report of cost when she sent your granted extension. Did everyone see that? Are there any questions and or concerns? If not, I need a motion and a second, please.
Madam Chair, I motion that we move the item.
Second.
Roll call, Ms. Taylor.
Counselor Alexander,
Aye.
Counselor Collier,
Aye.
Counselor Crusoe,
Aye.
Counselor Marshall,
Aye.
Counselor Thigpen, Counselor Thigpen,
Aye. Aye.
Counselor Matthews,
Aye.
Counselor Donald.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays, the motion carries.
Item number 13, please.
The finance director to provide a spreadsheet regarding the balance on the gas tax.
Mayor Gully, do we have that spreadsheet or do you have it?
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
we are still working on that sheet. That sheet will not come necessarily from the finance director. That sheet will come from Ron Gilbert's EEFS office as to the projects that we already got. I have instructed Mr. Gilbert and stuff to work on that list, and as soon as it's in my possession, I will forward it to you all.
Thank you, sir. Item number 14, please.
A resolution regarding check signing.
Councilors, as you know, we discussed this in council, in planning session, the last session that we had. You did receive a resolution on yesterday. Are there any questions and or concerns? If not, I need a motion and a second, please.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to move the resolution as far as in regarding reappointing check signers.
Second.
Madam Chair. Madam
Yes,
Chair,
sir. Yes, sir, Councilor Marshall.
are we talking about reappointing or nominating new check signers?
We're talking about reappointing and or nominating new check signers.
Okay, so Councilor Crusoe.
Want me to say it again?
Yeah, you said reappoint.
I'll say it again. I'll say it again, Mr. Thesaurus. I'll do it again. Madam Chair.
Councilor Crusoe.
Okay. I would like to make the motion for us to renominate, reappoint, change, adopt, whatever it is that you, whatever word you want to use, Council Marshall, the check signers for the city of Bessemer.
You've got to take one. You can't do all of them in a motion.
Tell me which one you want. Which word you prefer?
If you don't understand, I'll let you deal with that.
I'll do it. Madam Chair,
Councilors.
can we move the resolution to renominate the check signers for the City of Bessemer, please?
Madam Chair, that's still inappropriate.
I agree. Who you nominating?
Madam Chair,
Fill in the blank.
One moment. One moment, please. One moment, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilor Matthews.
I'm trying to see what I'm reading the resolution on my phone, and the only portion on here we need to deal with it's so small. I'm gonna zoom it up here. Looks like number 2 says financial key. Well, I guess we're just gonna have to fill in the 2 blanks. That's what it appears.
That's what this appears. This resolution designating the persons who shall be authorized as signatories on all accounts of the City of Bessemer. We did not ask that the mayor and or the finance director be taken off, if I'm not mistaken. What we asked was to change out the counselors, is what was asked and what was discussed and what was voted on.
Okay. Madam Chair, may I finish?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Councilman.
Well, I'll go with this one at least. Let me start this one. I'd like to reappoint Councilor Crusoe. I'm dealing with the reappoint, okay?
Madam Chair, make the motion to reappoint Councilman Marshall.
Madam Chair, I would like to appoint Councilor Matthews. Excuse me, Councilor Alexander as a check signer.
Madam Chair, we are still going down the wrong path. Now, Councilor Matthews said reappoint. Right. Then there were two names declared to be reappointed. Now, Councilor Crusoe is trying to nominate somebody. So either we got to reappoint, nominate, we got to pick one or the other. Madam Chair, would you clarify that? Would you clarify that, Madam Chair?
I would, Councilor Marshall, I will clarify that. To my understanding, we are nominating counselors to be on the check signing, as we do when we first come in. We nominate however many, and before it is closed out, before there's a nomination to close it out. And here, I think it has been 3 nominated. But I have not heard. But I have not heard a nomination to close the nominations.
No, we have not had 3 nominations. Councilor Matthews said reappoint. That's different from nominating.
And I asked to reappoint.
Then Councilor Alexander or somebody else said nominate. So I'm asking you to clarify. Are we, Madam Chair, may I make a motion?
Sure, I asked for that motion in the beginning, Councilor Marshall.
Well, I mean, but let somebody else do it.
Madam Chair.
Councilor Crusoe.
Okay. I would like to make the motion that we nominate the check signers for the City of Bessemer.
Madam Chair, is it okay if the city clerk handles this, and then we just make the nomination just like we do for president and pro tem. And then that way we can just close the nominations and do it that way.
Thank you. Ms. Taylor.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Taylor?
Yes.
Okay, you're there?
Yes, I
Okay,
am.
thank you so much, Ms. Taylor. I'll yield to the city clerk, Ms. Wanda Taylor, please.
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
I nominate Councilor Donna Thigpen as the check signer.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. You're right. I nominate Councilor Alexander as a check signer.
Madam Chair.
Chair, I
I
nominate
vote that
Councilor
that
Crusoe.
it was cut off.
It was two people talking.
Well,
Yeah, that was Councilman Collier
nominated
saying
Councilor
I vote
Crusoe.
that it be cut off.
Ms.
But
Taylor.
I was nominating Councilor Crusoe.
I think we were speaking at the same time.
Okay.
Ms. Taylor. Ms. Taylor.
Yes, ma'am. It was two people speaking at the same time.
Okay. Okay. There are 3 nominations on the table, and Councilor Collier nominated to close.
No, ma'am. I voted to close before the third one.
There are 3 nominations on the table, and Councilor Collier nominated to close.
No, ma'am. I voted to close before the third one was nominated.
What you mean?
I voted to close before the third one was nominated.
I ain't got no.
Ms. Taylor.
Yes,
Ms.
ma'am.
Taylor. Okay.
Now, I have.
With both. Okay, tell me what you have, Ms. Taylor.
I have Councilor Donna Thigpen, Councilor Kimberly Alexander, and it's a conflict with Councilor Latricia Crusoe. So,
Did you get my vote to close, Ms. Taylor?
I got your vote to close.
Okay.
It was at the same time with Latricia Crusoe. So if one of the attorneys would make that distinction, do I take the vote for Latricia?
Attorney Payton and Harris. Attorney Payton and Harris.
Councilor Greg Harris. What I heard was there was a motion to add as a signatory Councilor 3 councilors actually. And there was on the third one that was a motion to apparently to cut it off at the 3 said names, but I didn't hear a second to that motion.
No, sir.
That's right.
No, sir. I was speaking at the same time. No, sir. You heard it wrong. I'm sorry, sir. You heard it wrong.
You didn't get a motion.
I did say I want to motion that it be cut off.
You didn't get a second.
It wasn't second.
You didn't get a second.
Nobody
The
didn't say
nomination
anything.
stand.
You just said about who you wanted to say to cut it off for. If the clerk heard it and the other person heard it, but nobody else heard it, but the clerk heard it, but the attorney didn't hear it, but nobody didn't hear. Nobody didn't hear.
Attorney.
I'm here. I heard the motion to at the point when Councilor Crusoe was nominated. I heard either simultaneously or just before that. I'm not sure which was at the point. There was a motion to cut it off at that point, but I didn't hear anybody second that motion to end.
Ms. Taylor.
Okay, I make the motion again to cut it off. Can somebody second it?
I second it.
Okay, there you go. There your second. Now what?
We're gonna cut it off. We're gonna cut it. One moment.
Vote.
You're gonna cut it. You're gonna cut it off with Councilor Crusoe in.
No, ma'am. I cut it off before.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are.
No, ma'am. I voted to cut it off before.
The
attorneys didn't say it. You got one opinion
Harris.
from Attorney Harris. He said, "I think," is what I heard. He said, "I think."
No, I heard the motion. What I heard. No, I know what I heard. And you're right. I heard a motion to cut it off at 2 set names. I think that's what you meant. But let's assume that's what you meant. I didn't hear anyone second that motion. That motion at that point to cut it off.
Neither did anyone second the 3, and I came back and second the 2.
So there you
Okay.
go. Now you got the two
Okay.
confirmed.
Oh, we don't have to confirm. We must vote. Let us vote on what we have on the table. Donna Thigpen first, and then we'll vote on who was the second one, Ms. Taylor?
Kimberly Alexander.
We'll vote on Kimberly Alexander.
So those are the two nominations. And when I call your name, please state who you are voting for. Councilor Alexander.
Counselor Alexander.
Councilor Collier.
Thigpen.
Councilor Crusoe.
Counselor Alexander.
Councilor Marshall.
Counselor Thigpen.
Councilor Thigpen.
Thigpen.
Councilor Matthews.
Alexander.
Councilor Donald.
Alexander.
We have 4 votes for Councilor Alexander and 3 votes for Councilor Thigpen.
I have a, Madam President,
Yes, ma'am, Councilor Thigpen.
I just had a question because Counselor Alexander works out of town quite a bit as a traveling nurse. Is she going to be available over the next year to sign checks when she's called?
Well,
Yes, I will be.
I'm under the impression, Councilor Thigpen, Councilor Alexander did state to me she'll be here. She's taking a job here weekends, so she will be here to sign checks. I think for the next year, year and a half. If I'm mistaken, Councilor Alexander, please correct me.
That's correct.
Okay.
And let me say this. Even with me having a job out of town, I make sure I come to council meeting and planning session and any other meetings that I need to be in.
Okay, now with that being said, did we, Ms. Taylor,
Yes.
do we need to vote on a second one, or do we motion for a second one, or do we just keep Councilor Thigpen?
Well, we have one that had the majority votes. So if you wanted to vote for a second person, I mean, that's up to you.
Okay, so we need at this point in time to motion and second for a second person. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Madam-
Mr. President,
Donald,
I make the motion that
Okay, never mind, go ahead.
Attorney,
Madam Chair.
which attorney am I speaking to? Am I speaking to an attorney?
Councilor Donald Shantaden.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I had to pull Robert's Rules of Order to look at this. So it looks like what should have happened is that if there was a nomination, Thigpen would have been the first nomination. You would have voted on Thigpen, whether she would have been added to the checking account. Then you would go to Alexander, then you go to Crusoe. So you wouldn't vote between two. You would vote either Thigpen up or down, then Alexander up or down, then Crusoe up or down. There are no seconds.
I thought that's how it was supposed to have gone, but I did call you and you didn't answer. So
I was trying to review, but what the procedure is actually.
okay, I was reading it as well. I was trying to get, okay, so as it stands right now, with Alexander being voted on, do we need to go back and redo what we've done or undo what we've done and go back and vote for the three?
Well, I don't know. I mean, all I can tell you is you should have had Thigpen first and Alexander then Crusoe. But the way the vote came out, it looks like Councilor Alexander got 4 votes. So I don't know if there's really a need to go back and redo it. But technically, it looks to me like you should have voted for Councilor Thigpen first and gone through yay or nay and gotten 4 votes or not 4 votes and then gone to Alexander, then to Crusoe.
But
Either way that,
Madam
okay,
Chair,
Council.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I do believe that we established that we had a second after Councilor Alexander and Thigpen were nominated.
Well, Councilor,
That is what we concluded.
well, Council Marshall, this is Shane again. The way I read it, and this is Robert's Rules of Order. Anybody can, Greg, feel free to look in, but the way it looks is that nominations are not closed until no one adds another one.
There you go.
Okay,
Until what? Until what now?
So what happens is when somebody makes a nomination, then the president says, are there any more nominations? If a nomination comes forward, they say, is there another nomination? And then when there are no further nominations, then nominations close. That's the way Robert's Rules of Order reads. Then once you do that, then you take the first person, which would have been Thigpen, and you vote. Do they get 4 votes? If not, you go to the next one. Or if they did get 4 votes, then you go to the next one. If they get 4 votes, then there's no need to go to the third person. Okay?
So as it stands right now, we have Councilor Alexander who got 4. If we add Councilor Crusoe and Thigpen,
well,
whomever gets the most votes.
Well, but the problem is, and I hear what you're saying, yes, but technically what probably should have happened was you put Thigpen up first. You vote on Thigpen. If she doesn't get 4, you go to Alexander. Does she get 4? If she gets 4, you go to Crusoe. If she doesn't get 4, then you don't have 4 on Crusoe, and you go back to another party. You know what I'm saying?
So if neither of the 3 had gotten 4,
you would have to.
We would have been doing another motion. Is that correct?
You would open up nominations again.
And that's the way I read it, and that's why I opened up nominations again.
Okay.
Ms. Taylor?
I'm here.
Thank you, ma'am. Can we open the floor once again for nominations, please?
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
I nominate Councilor Thigpen.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I nominate Councilor Crusoe.
Are there any more nominations?
Madam Chair, I close the nomination.
That will be Councilor.
I asked that the nominations be closed, Madam Chair.
But we hadn't finished.
Okay. First of all, with the previous nomination that we just voted on, does it still stand, or we're doing everything all over?
No. It still stands. Alexander is still a check signer. We're at this point with a second check signer.
Okay.
Okay. Ms. Taylor?
Yes, ma'am.
It's in
We
your
will
hand.
vote for Councilor Thigpen first. She's the first person that's been nominated. So we're voting for Councilor Thigpen. Councilor Alexander?
No.
Councilor Collier?
Thigpen.
Councilor Crusoe?
No, ma'am.
Councilor Marshall?
Thigpen.
Councilor Thigpen?
Aye.
Councilor Matthews?
No.
Councilor Donald?
Crusoe?
We're voting for Councilor Thigpen. So is that a yes or no for Councilor Thigpen?
Oh, I'm sorry. No.
No. Okay, so we have 3 ayes, 4 nays. Councilor Thigpen was not nominated to be a check signer. Doesn't have the majority vote to be a check signer. So the next person is Latricia Crusoe. So she's the person that we're going to vote for now for the check signer. Councilor Alexander?
Aye.
Councilor Collier?
Aye.
Councilor Crusoe?
Aye.
Councilor Marshall,
Nay.
Councilor Thigpen,
Nay.
Councilor Matthews,
Crusoe.
Councilor Donald.
Crusoe.
We have 4 ayes, 3 nays. Councilor Crusoe has the majority vote to be a check signer.
Thank you so much. So that looks like Councilor Alexander and Councilor Crusoe will be our check signers for the next 2 years unless this body decides otherwise.
Well, you said
Item
2
number-
years, Madam Chair. Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
you said 2 years?
We're here for 2 years unless this body decides otherwise.
Well, we always do it yearly as we do the president.
We didn't do
Thank
check
you, sir.
signers last year.
We did not.
No, I know you didn't. But the president said for the next 2 years.
Councilor Alexander.
Madam Chair,
Thank Thank you, Councilor Alexander. Thank you, Councilor Marshall. Item number 15, please.
Wait a minute, we haven't settled it. Is it 1 year or 2 years? It's 1 year, my understanding, but you're not saying that definitely. You said 2 years. I'm just trying to clarify.
It's not definite for me to say. I say it for the next 2 years unless Councilor Marshall.
No. No. We do check signers every year as we do the president every year.
That's fine. You can do them every year if that's what this body so desires. You
Well,
can do
that's
them
what
every
this
year.
that's
if
what
the
this
body
body has
desires.
always done.
Well, if that's the problem now.
Yeah, the
But if
problem
this
is
body so desires, if
the
this
problem
body so, Councilor Marshall, it's not going to happen. Item number 15, Ms. Taylor.
you just don't understand.
Whatever this body decides it wants to do, the majority of the body speaks. Item number 15, Ms. Taylor. Item number 15, Ms. Taylor.
A resolution extending the fiscal year budget to February 19, 2021.
Mayor Gully, I placed this on because we had extended the budget until December the 19th. I placed this on until February 19th. Maybe in between there, we'll have a budget and I have gone through the budget to get it passed by councilors. Is there any concern and or questions?
Yeah, Madam Chair. Well, I guess my question would be where I know we're talking about the budget, extending it, but I would, during the discussion, ask the question if and I guess I can ask you, why did you go up to February the 19th? I'm just curious.
I went up to February the 19th to give the auditors as well as the finance director and the mayor time enough after the holidays, because as it stands right now, we're not going to have time before the holidays. Different people are off and celebrating with their families and this, that, and the other. That is why I went up to February.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'll wait. I have to wait till we get in the discussion before I ask what I almost asked.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
On one hand, you say it's up to the body, and then on another hand, you make a unilateral decision.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I think on this resolution, it seems the last three words on this agenda says the council votes. So with this resolution, if the majority of this body does not agree with extending this, then it doesn't get extended. If the majority of the body agrees with you and votes to do so, then for the most part, it stands as what the majority has decided. So it still is not left where you're making a unilateral decision for the entire body. It's where the majority makes the decision by casting their individual vote.
And
I think
the majority should have decided when that date would be.
I think Councilor Crusoe, even at this, I think I stated, are there any concerns and or questions of the body? If there are any concerns and or questions, they're here to be discussed.
It's open for discussion now, right? Or we're going back, or what we doing, Madam President?
No, sir. Go ahead, Councilor Collier. If you have a question and or concern or
Okay. My question is, explain to me exactly, what we did previously before we took on this 2-year administration. I'm saying, have we ever did it for just 1 year? We've been doing it for 2 years all the time. And explain to me, why the sudden change.
Talking about? What are you talking about, Councilor Collier?
We're speaking to what you just talked about a little while ago when we talked about the check signs. When you said 2 years.
Councilor Collier, I truly don't understand what you're speaking of, but we're not on check signing.
I know we're not on that, but Council Marshall was talking about it. So I chimed in on what y'all was saying.
Okay, that was after it had been closed. And after we had, I tell you what, Councilor Collier, if you would go to the city clerk's office.
Ma'am, you don't have to, Madam President, don't play them games with me. Please don't. Please don't. You know exactly what I was talking about. You knew exactly what I was talking about. We don't have to play these games. We don't have to play these games.
Councilor Collier,
you can go back to what you were saying, but one thing I'm not going to do is play these games with you.
Councilor Collier, I'm giving you an answer. So if you don't want the answer that I have for you,
that's not what I was talking about, ma'am. You know what I was talking about.
You can find out anything.
You knew exactly what I was saying. If you could just say, well, sir, we're not even talking about that again. Go ahead on what you're saying, ma'am.
I did, Councilor.
Can we entertain item number 15, please?
Thank you, Councilor Crusoe. Are there any more concerns and or questions about item number 15, please? If there's a date, Mayor Gully, are you on the line? Mayor Gully, are you on the line?
Madam President.
Hey, Mayor Gully, how are you? Would this date be feasible for you, or you would like to present another date to the council to be voted on?
Madam President, I'm currently working on the budget. As soon as I get through, I present a draft and stuff to the city council. I mean, I can't say and stuff which day. I plan on getting it and stuff done and stuff as expeditiously as possible. So the date really doesn't matter to me.
Thank you, sir. In there, this will still give you an opportunity here as we extend the budget. It will still give you an opportunity. If we get it before the 19th, 2020, February the 19th, 2020 would be fine, would be great. We can go ahead and start working on that budget then and get that budget passed.
Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Madam Chair. I move.
Yes, sir.
I move item 15 as it's read.
Second.
It has been properly moved and second. For item number 15, resolution extending the fiscal year budget to February 19, 2021. Ms. Taylor, roll call, please.
Counselor Alexander,
Aye.
Counselor Collier,
Aye.
Counselor Crusoe,
Aye.
Counselor Marshall,
Aye.
Counselor Thigpen,
Aye. Aye.
Counselor Matthews,
Aye.
Counselor Donald.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays, the motion carries.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Item number 16, please.
050, retail beer. 070, retail wine off premises only, liquor license at Circle K store located at 2593 Morgan Road at 35022.
Counselors, you saw your memorandum in from Rumare Gully for Circle K on Morgan Road. It has been approved by the Chief of Police as well as Mayor Gully. Is there any concerns and or questions? If not, I need a motion
Madam
and
Chair,
a second. Yes,
Madam
sir.
Chair, I move the
Yes, sir.
resolution. I move the
Second.
resolution.
Second.
The resolution has been moved and seconded that we will grant an off-premises liquor license to Circle K located on Morgan Road. Roll call, Ms. Taylor.
Counselor Alexander,
Aye.
Counselor Collier,
Aye.
Counselor Crusoe,
Aye.
Counselor Marshall,
Aye.
Counselor Thigpen,
Aye.
Counselor Matthews,
Aye.
Counselor Donald.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays, the motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 17, please.
September 2020 invoices from EEFS in the amount of $35,437.25.
After you've seen your invoices, are there any questions and or concerns?
Yes, ma'am. Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
my question is to anyone who can answer. The budgeted amount for these services of EEFS, the annual budget, does anyone know right off what that amount is?
I think it's a contract.
What did you know it, Thigpen? I hear you talking, but I don't know someone does it. Whoever.
I think it's a contract. I don't think it's a budgeted item. Mayor might explain that, or the attorney.
Okay, the last time I asked this question, somebody
It's
stated
budgeted. It's
that
budgeted.
it was a certain amount that was set aside for these services. Am I not correct on that?
Counselor Crusoe, it is a line item.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, because I do remember asking about the $600,000 that was budgeted, if I'm not mistaken. Mayor Gully, you can chime in. $600,000 that was budgeted for EEFS. Is that not correct, Mayor Gully?
Madam President, I don't have a budget. I don't have a budget and stuff before me now. And so, but there is a dollar amount that's estimated and put in for engineering services. But as you know, that can be in that's going and stuff to depend a lot and stuff on what we have and stuff going on and what we need engineering services for. But I don't have those figures before me now.
Yes, sir.
Madam Chair.
I'm still here.
One moment, please, Councilor Crusoe. I just thought maybe I knew that because I had asked the question when we did the budget on last year. Councilor Crusoe.
Yes, ma'am. It's very well understood that the amount and the invoices vary according to what progress of what type activities that we have going on within our municipality. I guess that comes along with the territory. My question that I was asking that has been, I guess, slightly answered is this the amount of $600,000. Again, as I've stated before, and I'll state again, that with all of the different, development, as well as, different projects that we have going on in the city, I said it then, and I'll still say it today. I just feel like it'll be far more feasible for the citizens, taxpayers here in the city of Bessemer, for us to look in as the council body, for us to look into. I mean, I don't know whose phone is on, but I'm echoing or hearing somebody else talking. If we can look into hiring our own engineers for the city of Bessemer and possibly save the city some more money, where these funds could be utilized on doing some of the other things that the citizens of Bessemer can use. Thank you.
Councilors, are there any more questions and or concerns?
Madam
Chair.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
Let me
Yes,
just say
sir.
something.
Yes, sir.
That's why periodically we need to sit down, not at right before the budget, and talk about budgetary items. Mid-year, we ought to see where we are year to date, because to go from one year to another year and not even look at your expenditure, your expenditure or any type of financial records, it doesn't make sense. So that's what I think we need to do, instead of being slammed at the right before budget time looking at numbers. We should do it mid-year instead of waiting till right before Christmas or New Year's, looking at a budget and what we've spent, what we've taken in. Should be looking at something around between March and May or June, something like that. At some point. I mean, who don't? I don't do my own checking account like that. I don't go from one year to another. We shouldn't even do that with city financing. That's totally irresponsible and dumb not to look at something mid-year. And I've said that over and over again, but it seems like it doesn't do any good.
Councilor Alexander.
I was just gonna inform Councilor Crusoe. I think when I read that contract, it said to not exceed $120,000 a year. I think that's what the contract say.
You're absolutely right, Councilor Matthews. We do need to change some things around as far as it is pertaining to our finances, instead of waiting until the last minute to look at everything all at one time and try to rush and pass things. That is why some things I place on the agenda, so that we can get ahead of time and we won't have to be pushed and or push the mayor or anyone else get this financial paperwork to us.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I have one more statement regarding this. Now that I've been provided this information, I'm going to go back and look at this contract myself. If the contract that we have in place states what Councilor Alexander just presented, not to exceed $120,000 annually, we're exceeding that amount, within 3 months. We're exceeding that, right? With this invoice for the month of September is over $35,000. We're exceeding $120,000 for engineering services within 3 months. So this is something that
Councilor,
we really need to entertain and revisit and possibly hire our own engineer here in the city of Bessemer than having a firm.
Councilor Crusoe, if that's something that you want to entertain at planning session on next week,
Sure.
I'll make sure that
You know,
it's there.
Place it on the
So
agenda,
that
ma'am.
Madam President,
we can entertain that, but with everything that we have going on in the city,
Mm-hmm.
yes, we do. We can entertain that 100. I can say this with everything. I don't know anything about engineering, but I have dug into it. With everything that we have going on in the city right now, let me just say that right now, $120,000 is not going to cover. What I think it is, we have a line item, and I'll get to you in just a moment, Councilor Thigpen. We have a line item, but if I'm not mistaken, the EEFS and Ron Gilbert supposed to come back to the council each time that an expenditure is done from EEFS. If I'm right, Councilor Thigpen.
I just wanted to point out that even at $120,000 a year, you probably couldn't hire a good engineer. And we're not hiring an engineer, we're hiring a whole engineering company that does this. The city could get enough employees to handle what Mr. Gilbert handles for us at the price that we're paying. Mr. Matthews can go back and tell us that what went on when the city had an engineer. I don't think it was very cost effective because a lot of stuff had to be hired out anyway. And you start doing employees, and then you have the benefits and retirement and a lot of things that you have to pay in that you don't when you hire a company. So you can't just look at saying and would hire a nice engineer, because it wouldn't even come close to what we're getting with Mr. Gilbert EFF or any other engineering that
Thank you so. Thank you so kindly, Councilor
Madam
Thigpen.
President.
But I think in all fairness, we can have some individuals to present that information before us, in order for me to feel comfortable in knowing and seeing that, that's our only option, or that's the best alternative for the citizens here in the city of Bessemer. But you made a very valid point, but I would still like to see it.
Mayor Gully.
Madam President, with all due respect and stuff to this conversation, the city throughout Councilor Matthews and stuff term and my time and stuff associated with the city, if I may speak for both of us, has always contracted with an engineering and stuff firm. However, if it was as easy as hiring an engineer, I can agree with some of the comments and stuff that has been made, but we would have to institute an engineering department in order and stuff to handle the engineering services of the city of Bessemer. Quite naturally, if it was as simple as just hiring an engineer, I can go out on the personnel board list and hire an engineer, but that engineer still would not be able and stuff to perform and stuff the duties and stuff that are necessary for this city. It would take, just like any instituting another entire department and stuff of the city. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'd have to concur with the mayor on what he said, but can we talk about this in planning session?
Yes, sir, we can.
Yeah.
Is somebody beginning to hear me now?
May we have a motion and a second, please?
I move the item.
Second.
It has been motioned and second that we will pay $35,437.25 to EEF.
Okay, Madam Chair, before you carry that, I do have, I didn't want to say anything during the discussion, but it's just to Mr. Gilbert, the Bessemer drainage complaints are those several areas or anything in particular that, and I guess I asked the question that I need to be concerned with, Mr. Gilbert?
Yeah, those items, Councilor Matthews was on 3134 Avenue E. There's a pipe replacement that went on there. And also on Berkeley Alley and 18th Street, the old culvert, concrete culvert had collapsed and it was repaired and replaced.
Okay, and the other one is, how are we looking on our ADA upgrading?
We pretty much got all our ADA upgrades done. Daniel's been working on that. I'll let him speak to that. But go ahead and outline those, Daniel, for the council.
Yeah, good morning or evening. I think it can go either way. Yes, we have done working with Lawrence Hatter and his public works department. When we get a grievance filed through City Hall or notification of ADA, a need for ADA modifications, we've been working on those. The latest that we have worked on is the sidewalk, replacing the sidewalk and adding curb ramps here on 4th Avenue between 21st and 22nd Street. That's the latest the Public Works has done. I can't think of the name of the church right there on the corner of 4th and 22nd, but it's right on both sides of the road in that block.
St. Peter.
St. Peter.
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah. I thought that's what it was. Okay. All right, thank you. That's all, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Roll call. Did we get a second?
Yeah, we got a second.
Yes, we
Roll
got
call,
that.
Ms. Taylor.
Councilor
Roll call,
Alexander. Councilor Collier. Yes. Councilor Crusoe.
Aye.
Councilor Marshall.
Aye.
Councilor Thickpan.
Aye.
Councilor Matthews.
Aye.
Councilor Donald.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays. The motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 18, Ms. Taylor, has been referred to legal. But will you read it for me, please?
Item 18 is the Bessemer Elite 6U Tigers is requesting a donation on expenses on the Youth National Football Championship trip.
I received a letter. I think Mayor Gully received a letter and sent it down to the council, and I referred it over to legal. And as soon as we hear back from legal, I'll let the council know what legal stated concerning this donation. And they are nonprofit concerning this donation to this youth 6U. They will be going to Florida for the championship.
So, Madam Chair, would you like to table? Are you going to table or delete?
Sir, no, sir. I'm going to table until I hear back from legal.
Madam Chair, I move to table item 18.
Second.
It has been tabled. It has been nominated and second that we would. Motioned and second that we will table item number 18 until we hear from legal counsel Harris. Ms. Taylor.
Councilor Alexander.
Aye.
Councilor Collier. Councilor Collier. Councilor Crusoe.
Aye.
Councilor Marshall.
Aye.
Councilor Thickpan.
Aye.
Councilor Matthews.
Aye.
Councilor Donald.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays. The motion carries.
Item 19, please.
A resolution awarding bid contract to the lowest responsible bidder to regroup the Bessemer Public Works Administration Building, the City Council having declared the project an emergency.
Councilors, we spoke on this on last week. Megan, let me ask a question, please. Will any of these funds come from insurance, or all will come from the city?
Okay, I don't think he's at his desk, but can I ask a question until he gets back?
Yes, ma'am.
My question, I guess, would go to Ron Gilbert and EFS. As far as in with the bids that we received, how many bids did we receive concerning this this project?
We received 3 bids, and there were, how many people did we contact, Daniel?
5.
5 were contacted. Do y'all have a copy of the bid results?
Yes.
No, sir.
No,
I don't have them.
that was going to be my next question. Would you be so kindly to provide them to us, please?
Yeah, they went out Wednesday afternoon, so I'm not sure why y'all don't have a copy of them. But
you say they went out to who?
I received an email with all the documentation.
I'll double check my email, Mr. Gilbert, and if it's not in there, I'll reach back out to you. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be glad to read them into the record if you'd like.
Please.
Okay.
Please.
Okay, we received 3 bids. They were opened at the multi-purpose room on Wednesday afternoon at 2:00. The 3 bids were this: Tecta America Southeast LLC. Their base bid was $217,000. Received a bid from Magic City Roofing Incorporated. The bid was $172,850. We received a bid from Cornerstone Restoration Incorporated. Their bid was $399,900. Those are the 3 bids received. They were read aloud on Wednesday at 2:00.
What was the name of that first company again?
Pardon?
The 217, what was the name of that company again? I missed it.
Tecta, Tecta, America, Southeast, LLC.
Okay, thank you, sir.
But you should have a bid certification in your package. If you don't have that, I'll be glad to send them out again.
Please send them to Miss Coleman, and she'll get them to us. I have looked over my packet, and no, I don't have one in my packet.
Councilor Donald, this is Shan. I think Ellen sent those to Angela yesterday.
Yesterday.
And you and Greg yesterday.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Councilors, you've heard EEFS. Is Mayor Gully back on the line?
Madam President.
Yes, sir. Mayor Gully, I did ask the question of you, is any of these fundings that will be used for the roof, does any of them qualify for insurance reimbursement, or all from the city of Bessemer?
No, ma'am, that wouldn't, repairing of a roof would not be an insurance item.
Thank you, sir. Councilors, I need a motion and a second.
I move the resolution.
Need a second, councilors?
Second, that would be to Magic City Roofing for $172,850, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. It has been properly moved in second that we will award the contract to the Magic City Roofing for $172,850. to the Magic City Roofing. Roll call, Ms. Taylor.
Counselor Alexander,
Aye.
Counselor Collier, Counselor Crusoe,
Aye.
Counselor Marshall,
Aye.
Counselor Thigpen,
Aye.
Counselor Matthews,
Aye.
Counselor Donald.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays, the motion carries.
Thank you
And
so
Madam
much.
Chair,
Item,
Madam Chair, we did receive
Yes, sir.
that email at 2:37 yesterday.
okay, I'll look back in my emails and read it. Thank you so much. Item number 20 and 21 has asked to be removed by Attorney Harris. I need a motion to remove item number 20 and 21. Second, please.
Madam Chair, I move to delete item 20 and 21.
Yes, 20
Second.
and 21.
Second.
Has been properly removed. Has been properly motioned to remove items 20 and 21. Resolution authorizing the payment of invoice for Jackson Harris PC. I need a roll call, Ms. Taylor.
Counselor Alexander,
Aye.
Counselor Crusoe,
Aye.
Counselor Marshall,
Aye.
Counselor Thigpen,
Aye.
Counselor Matthews,
Aye.
Counselor Donald.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays, the motion carries.
Item number 22, please.
Madam President, I'm back on.
Yes, sir. District 1.
I keep sending everything to Terrain.
Thank you, sir. District 2.
I'll send everything to Terrain this week. Thanks.
Thank you. District 4.
I'll continue to send mine to the mayor's office through Terrain.
Thank you. District 5.
I'll send to the mayor's office.
Thank you. District 6.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I got a question about the phone service and the iCloud being full. And how can, is anyone else having a problem with the phone saying iCloud full? We have just a minimum amount of storage, it seems like. Well, in my phone, and I think Ms. Coleman's phone and someone else did mention their phone had problems as well.
I'm having problems out of my phone a little bit, Councilman.
Okay. And and I guess we need to, I guess from a sensible standpoint, increase the space in our phone. I've been deleting some of the files, but it's still not doing anything. But and I noticed it has go from 99 cents a month to $9.99 a month. So can someone speak to that?
Mayor Gully, is Mr. Singleton on the line?
Madam President, yeah, Mr. Singleton.
Yes, sir.
Rick, you want to speak to that? Might be something that he and I need to get together and look at, but I'll yield the floor to him at this time.
Yes, Madam President.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, ma'am. The phones come with a 5 gigabyte cloud storage plan, and that's comes with the device free of charge. Now that's shared among every device that is tied to your Apple account. Therefore, if sometimes it may be just as simple as logging into your cloud account and removing old devices, because that information is stored and it remains there until it's deleted. Deleting your existing device may not do much good if half of your cloud account is still has information from previous devices. And we've had iPhones for quite some time, so every time a user connects their Apple account to their device, that the cloud is turned on automatically. That includes your iPads, If you lost an iPad, you get another iPad. It starts a new account that's associated with that iPad. And I would recommend first that we do log into our cloud account and ensure that we're only uploading or backing up one device, opposed to previous devices, and no telling how many. And also, I agree with the mayor that would, if we're going to look at changing that from a free account, we would have to change the account, the actual the structure of the account to facilitate that request. But that, yes, sir.
No, go ahead.
But in a nutshell, that's I would encourage each user that are having problems to log into their cloud account and take a look to see how many devices or what devices you can remove, that you should remove, and you may find that you may gain a significant amount of storage space.
Yeah, well, at this point, we're gonna have to do something. Fish or cut bait. I just because right now I'm at 4.9 and it says 5, so that's short order there.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
Now,
so is there ETA on a resolve to this? That's all I'm trying to get to, a resolve, not I don't like kicking cans down the road.
Excuse me. What we could do here in IT department, Mr. Matthews, is what I recommend is that we take a look at your cloud account to ensure that we're not storing old devices. That would be my first recommendation. And 9 times out of 10 times that would be a problem. That is the problem. Because we get devices, we get new devices, and we forget about the old devices, but the cloud does not. That item is sitting there until you actually log into your cloud account to look for it, and you have to go look for it. You may not realize that it's there, and with a reserve of space that you can use towards your new device.
Okay.
And once again, we can stop by the IT department. We'd be glad to help you with that. It doesn't take very long to take a look at that.
Okay. Okay, so we to bring our devices back so you can look at them. Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't really need your device. I just need your presence, because it will require a login to your Apple account. Yes, sir. We don't really need your device. I can actually send the info. I can send you the information on. We can send you the information on actually how to access and take a look at that on your own. That's fairly simple as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
District 7.
Wasn't finished. I just asked about that one. I just asked about that one. Okay. It's not that much. It's just gonna be one other thing. I want to know that it's what's the status on our security at the street and sanitation department when it comes down to theft of vehicles or equipment. It's my understanding that we've some vehicles and equipment has been nabbed here, I guess about a month or so ago. It could have been longer. We had any result on getting those vehicles and the equipment back, or just what the status is? I think it's a truck and a trailer, or trailer and a truck. Maggie, can you have any information on that?
Madam President, Councilor Matthews, we've consistently, and so as you know, had problems down there with that. The truck has been recovered. I doubt the trailer will be, but it is something that we're going to definitely have to look into. I've had police officers assigned and stuff to that to setting down there, but obviously I can't just sit a police officer down there. We might end up having it's up to employ a security company or something of that nature and stuff down there. We're gonna have to look at the putting better security cameras down there and stuff as well. But that has been an ongoing problem, and obviously it's been an ongoing problem for a long time.
Yeah, that's right, and I agree with you too. And well, I'd rather not say anything else unless I be in executive session concerning it. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. District 7.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mayor Gully, as far as the gunfire, what type plan do you have in place to help circumvent the gunfire here, not only in District 7, but in the city of Bessemer?
Madam President, Councilor Crusoe, I've had discussions with the chief. I wouldn't discuss that in a public and stuff setting, and so, but the chief and stuff had told me some things that they're looking into doing. But you know, obviously, you're right. Not only in District 7, but throughout and stuff the city, we've had tremendous problems and stuff with people discharging and stuff firearms. But unfortunately, as you know too, they're not going to wait around and stuff for the police and stuff to get there. Again, like I say, I'm working and stuff with the chief, and he's going to give me a report and stuff on what he have planned and stuff to see how we can address, if we can address and stuff that situation.
Okay, I remember shortly after being elected, we had a discussion. Well, I asked a question as to was it the shot spotter or something. I'm not really certain as far as on the term of it. And at that time, I was told that under the previous administration that had been discussed, and it was determined that it was a bit too expensive for the city to for us to get implement or install here in the city of Bessemer. Is that correct?
Madam President, Councilor Crusoe, I don't know if I would say that that's a correct statement. Now, what we may have to look into is whether incurring the cost for shots spotter would actually do any good, because once again, even with shot spotter, when the officers get there, if a person has discharged their weapon, they're not going to still be standing there. Obviously, when they discharge the weapon, they're gone. Yes. So, we have to look at whether incurring the cost for some things like shot spotter, if the city is actually getting the bang for its buck for doing so. As I said and stuff before, I'll get and stuff with the chief. The chief and I have talked about some things, and we'll just have to go from there. But I just don't know if shot spotter and stuff would actually do any good in that regard.
Yeah, not so much as that, on the I guess shot spotter. I mean, just whatever type a plan that we can implement, because I mean it's a bit ridiculous, Mayor Gully. To having to go to sleep to gunfire, be awakened throughout the night to gunfire, waking up, I mean, and it's so commonplace now. I mean, back years ago when you heard heard gunfire, it was here and far between. But I'm just to the point where with District 3 being abutted right up to me, I guess 2 houses away from District 3, it just depends on what side of my house that I hear the gunfire to know whether it's in District 3 or in District 7. And with my mom being a senior, all of the other neighbors, a lot of them, widowers or widows, and and single mothers around here. I mean, we're having to hit the floor every other night. And like I said, said this before, my mom has had both her knees replaced, and to go in and see my mom down on her knees, trying to keep from a stray bullet coming through a window, it's unfair. It's unfair, and I'm not trying to cast any blame upon anyone, but I know that it's something that we can do if it's not totally eradicated. You some kind of way minimize it. And also as far as in hiding the patrol, I received numerous calls about certain areas where they can't say, they're saying that they don't know the last time that they even saw a police officer patrol. I think if some of these areas could see a police officer come through every now and then, maybe that'll help, maybe not, but let's at least give that a try. And I'm not trying to tell you how to do your job as the mayor of the city, just making a suggestion, because it's we're not sitting around watching deer or wild rabbits hop across the yard. We're dodging gunfire over here. So if you'll take the
Council
Crusoe, finish, or you want to go?
Council Crusoe, I disagree with some of the comments and stuff that you make.
Which one?
Well, that police are not in self patrolling and stuff.
I did not say that, Mayor Gully. I did not say that.
But obviously, as I forestated, that by the time officers are there, individuals are not waiting, and so when they discharge their weapons. I agree wholeheartedly, and so with the discharging of the weapons, but I also have to look at the fact, and so that we have to appeal and so to the community in our districts and our city and stuff as well, because we're looking at who's discharging and so the gunfire as citizens of our city. So yeah, we can respond from calls, we can respond after the fact, but and so as I stated, we'll continue and stuff to see, get with the chief and see what we can do to address and stuff the issue. But it's going to take and stuff some assessing to find out and stuff the best way to address that situation.
Okay, well, let me clarify that before, I get approached about, the statement that I said being misconstrued. I'm not questioning Chief Roper's ability to do his job or the Bessemer police officers of doing their job. The only thing that I just stated to you, some of the citizens who have reached out to me saying that, that they rarely see a police officer. I didn't say that they aren't patrolling. I'm just saying what the citizens have relayed to me. So let's go ahead and straighten that out now. I'm not saying that anyone that's not doing their job, if we can just I guess take the time to go down some of these streets a little more often, or some of them at all, to let the citizens see that we are doing everything we can to do what their tax dollars require us to do, and that's to offer them police services. Now, as far as for the street sweeper, I witnessed this for myself. I'm not saying, I don't know whether it's in ill repair, whether the lever needs to be let down a little lower, as far as in sweeping of the street, but as they come down Dartmouth Avenue, it may the brush it's spinning, but it's not on the ground. So if you want to speak with the department that operates the street sweeper to, I guess, make sure that it is operable as far as in being able to sweep the streets here in the city. I made mention about this previously concerning the rec center. Whether you or Attorney Payton or whoever that we need to go ahead and get the ball rolling concerning this, we set forth a resolution for District 1 to use the Bessemer City Rec as a polling site, I guess to kind of replace the polling site for the previous city hall. We need to, can we go forth as far as in doing the necessary thing or whatever needs to be done in order to make that a permanent voting place or polling place for the citizens here in District 7? Because with this last election, Jonesboro Elementary School was closed just to facilitate an election day. we don't need that to happen in District 7 again. Attorney Payton, can you speak to letting me know what is the next step, or whatever the proper procedure on making sure that the rec center is put in place as far as a permanent polling site for here in District 7? Even if it's shared with one, I know it needs to be accommodating for District 7.
So, Councilor Crusoe, this is Shan. The next municipal election is in August of 22. The city doesn't control state and general elections. That's not our function. They request locations, but the next municipal election will be in August of 22, and you'll be able. The council will set the polling locations well prior to the election in August of 22.
Okay, do you know the time frame? I mean, I'm saying of making this a permanent polling place. It doesn't matter as to which election it is, because Jonesboro School needs to be utilized just for what that has been set forth to do, and that's to educate our children. To make the Bessemer Rec Center a permanent polling place here in District 7, what needs to be done in order to do that?
So again, we would not set polling locations for state elections or national elections. We would set them for municipal elections. So every 4 years, when we have an election, a municipal election, the polling locations are set by the city council. And I believe, I can't remember, Wanda, can you tell us when that would be? But I think we do that March or April of the year, but I'm trying to remember.
I do know we do it the beginning of the year.
Right. There's a process, and there are dates and timelines of when you have to have polling locations set and poll watchers and all of those things. And we follow a calendar in that year, and we'll be doing that beginning January 1 of 22. We'll be looking at all of those things.
Okay, a few more things, and I'll be out of you all's way. I have a grocery store over here in District 7 that over the last few months, I've been taking pictures and observing where it's becoming a dumping site. What do I need to do, or what can we do concerning this grocery store over here, where an individual is beginning to, I guess, pile junk up here in District 7? What do we have in place, Mayor Gully, to offset or circumvent that?
Councilor Crusoe, have you reported and stuff that, and have you have our environmental officer go out and take a look and stuff like that, and see if they are in violation of any ordinances, anything of that nature? They are on private property, but until we get a report and stuff from you or someone, you'll go out and stuff and have the police department environmental officer investigate that to make sure that they are not in violation of any sort of laws or ordinance.
Yes, sir. I have reported it, and I will report it again. Okay, we've already talked about the water and power bills and one of the other. I also want to thank you and the mayor's office. I did receive the resolution to provide to Dr. Helen Cooley's family. One more thing. Previously, I've requested a list of the properties owned by the city of Bessemer, be it a building, be it property, be it residential. When can we be provided a list of such properties?
Councilor Crusoe, I don't have that. I don't have a list in my possession and stuff of that. That'll take some time to pull together a list and stuff of that. I do recall and so that request coming in. I'll have to check with Mr. Tom Harmon as well as his attorney Payton to see if they have a list and stuff on those properties.
Okay, well, Mr. Payton, Mr. Harmon, can you all give me a status on where you are with that request?
Councilor Donald, I mean, Crusoe, this Shan, I mean, there's only, as I recall, there's a very small list, 3 or 4 pieces of property that we have that I provided that to the city council some time ago, but if I'll get Ellen to send it back over there again.
Okay, the property that was once operated by Botangs, is that a property that's owned by the city of Bessemer? I mean, do you know right off on that?
Well, I don't want to talk about that in a city council meeting, but we can.
Okay. Well, I guess
I don't want to discuss.
You can provide that to me. I'll await it. Okay, thank you, Madam John Chair. The rest I'll forward to the mayor's office. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Crusoe. District 3, we just want to make the mayor aware of monumental mounds where they were going to do a haunted house there back in September. They had cut some of the timber down and cut the trees down, and they're still out. I don't think our truck drivers know that that's not Lipscomb, that is Bessemer. They've started dumping sofas and everything there now. I would like to see that cleaned up. And I'll again say Dartmouth Avenue, please keep that on your radar. Trash and paper. I think they've started back again with this garbage bag thing. Wherever it falls, that's where it stays. I think we picked up about 6 on the Bessemer Superhighway that was just there. There's nothing you can do about that, but I would ask everyone to keep your eyes open for that. Thank you all for such a fruitful council meeting. I need a motion to adjourn, and everyone have a great day.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.